You are here now, not because you chose it in the way you choose a meal or a road to walk. You are here because something deeper than thought pulled you into this moment, this inhale, this heartbeat, this silence between thoughts. You may think you are reading these words, but perhaps the words are reading you. Perhaps they are not mine at all, but yours, long buried beneath noise, beneath fear, beneath the weight of names you were given and roles you were told to wear. You are not your job. You are not your failures. You are not your name on a birth certificate or your number on a screen. You are the space between the thoughts where peace lives when no one is watching. You are the stillness that remains after the storm has screamed itself out. You are the quiet hum beneath the scream of the world. There was never a time when you were not loved, not when you were small and crying in the dark, not when you were angry and broke something precious, not when you lied to protect yourself, not when you turned away from those who needed you, not when you felt empty and called it failure, not when you prayed and heard nothing back, not when you doubted if there was even anyone listening. Love did not leave, it never left, it simply waited, like the sun behind clouds, like the root beneath frozen earth. Like the song inside the silence before the first note is sung. You think God is far away because you cannot see him in the sky or hear his voice in the wind. But what if he is not up there? What if he is down here, in the ache of your chest when you remember someone you lost? In the way your hands tremble when you hold a child's hand? In the tears you cry alone in the shower because no one else would understand why you're crying? What if God is not a being out there but the very substance of being itself, the breath in your lungs, the pulse in your wrist, the warmth in your skin? What if he is not separate from you, but the ground on which you stand, the air you breathe, the light that lets you see your own shadow? You were never meant to be perfect. You were meant to be present, to sit with your pain without fixing it, to hold your joy without clinging to it, to feel your loneliness without running from it, to love without expecting return, to give without counting the cost, to forgive without waiting for an apology, to be broken and still say, I am here. That is the prayer that moves mountains, not the loud ones shouted from pulpits, not the polished words written in holy books, but the quiet whisper of a soul saying, I am tired, I am afraid, but I am still here. The world tells you to climb higher, to earn more, to prove yourself, to be stronger, to be better, to be worthy. But the truth whispers differently. The truth says you are already whole, even now, even here, even with your scars, even with your doubts, even with your silence. You do not need to earn love. You only need to stop running from it. You do not need to be saved. You only need to stop pretending you are lost. They told you God speaks in thunder, but he often speaks in the hush after a sob. They told you he answers prayers with miracles, but he answers them with patience, with the slow unfurling of a flower in spring, with the steady rise of dawn after a night too long, with the hand that reaches out when you thought you were alone, with the stranger who smiled when you felt invisible, with the book you opened by accident that said exactly what you needed, with the dream you forgot by morning but still carried in your bones. Do not search for signs in the stars. Look for them in the eyes of the person sitting beside you. Look for them in the smell of rain on dry earth. Look for them in the way your cat curls against your leg at midnight. Look for them in the silence between two people who do not need to speak. God does not live in temples made of stone. He lives in the spaces between heartbeats. He lives in the forgiveness you offer when you have every right to hate. He lives in the meal you share with someone who has nothing. He lives in the prayer you whisper when you don't know how to pray anymore. You think you must believe to be worthy, but belief is not the door. Surrender is, not the surrender of defeat, but the surrender of control. The letting go of needing to understand, of needing to fix, of needing to be seen, of needing to be right. When you stop fighting the current, you begin to float. And when you float, you discover you were never drowning. You were always swimming in something much larger than yourself. Religions built walls. The mystics tore them down, the priests spoke of rules, the poets spoke of fire, the law said, do this, the heart said, be this. And so it has always been. The most sacred thing you will ever do today is not to pray, not to read, not to fast, not to give, but to be fully, painfully, beautifully, messily alive in this moment without hiding, without performing, without pretending you have it together, to sit with your grief, to hold your shame, to welcome your anger, to honor your joy, to let it all be, because everything you feel is a doorway, even the darkest room holds a window. You were not created to be safe. You were created to be brave, not the kind of bravery that charges into battle, but the kind that wakes up each morning and chooses to love again even after being hurt, the kind that forgives even when the wound still burns, the kind that stays tender in a world that rewards hardness, the kind that believes in goodness even when it seems extinct. That is the courage God asks for, not perfection, not piety, not power, but presence, raw, real, unpolished. Human. No scripture can save you, no ritual can heal you, no sermon can change you, only this, the quiet turning inward. The moment you stop looking outside for what you already carry within. You are not searching for God. You are remembering Him. He has never left. He has only been waiting for you to stop shouting long enough to hear Him breathing beside you. There is no path to God. There is only THE Chinese letter, the letting go. The release of the idea that you must arrive somewhere. You are already there, in this breath, in this silence, in this ache, in this hope, in this tear, in this laugh that surprises you in the middle of sorrow. That is the divine, not distant, not abstract, not a concept in a book, but the living pulse beneath your skin. The quiet voice that says, keep going when you are ready to stop. The gentle hand that pulls you back from the edge when you think you want to fall. You think you are alone, but you are never alone, not when you are awake, not when you are asleep, not when you are angry, not when you are numb, not when you are dead inside, even then, especially then. The deepest darkness is not the absence of light, it is the forgetting that light exists. And you, my dear one, are the light forgetting itself. But the light does not die. It waits. It watches. It sings softly in the marrow of your bones. You do not need to be good. You only need to be true. You do not need to be holy. You only need to be honest. You do not need to be chosen. You only need to choose kindness over judgment, to choose compassion over contempt, to choose presence over distraction, to choose love over fear, again, and again, and again, until it becomes the rhythm of your soul. There is no final destination. Only this now, this breath, this touch, this glance, this moment of stillness in the chaos. This is where God lives, not in the temple, not in the church, not in the mosque, not in the mountain, not in the pilgrimage, but here, in the ordinary, in the unremarkable, in the laundry folded slowly, in the coffee cooled too long, in the silence after a fight, in the hug that lasts 1 second too long, in the tears you wipe away without speaking, in the smile you give when you have nothing left to give. God is not impressed by your devotion. He is moved by your humanity. He does not care how many times you bowed. He cares how often you knelt beside someone else who was falling. He does not count your prayers. He counts your pauses, the moments you stopped to listen when no one else was listening. He does not measure your faith by your rituals. He measures it by your willingness to remain open, even when the world has broken you. You are not a mistake. You are not punishment. You are not a lesson someone else needs to learn. You are not a burden. You are not too much. You are not too little. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not unworthy of grace. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are held even when you feel hollow, even when you feel nothing, even when you doubt there is anything to feel. The universe did not make you to compete. It made you to connect, to feel, to wonder, to weep, to dance in the kitchen at 3 a.m., to sing off-key, to write letters you never send, to hold your own hand when no one else is there, to sit with the silence and not fill it, to let yourself be known, even the parts you hide. That is the miracle, not the healing, not the answer, not the sign, but the courage to be fully, tenderly, imperfectly you. You do not need to find God. You need to stop hiding from yourself, because God is not out there. He is in here, in your trembling, in your longing, in your stubborn hope, in your refusal to give up even when you have no reason left. That refusal, that quiet, persistent flame, that is the voice of the divine singing through you. Let go of the need to be understood. Let go of the need to be praised. Let go of the need to be forgiven by others. Forgive yourself, not tomorrow, not after you've changed, not after you've earned it, now, right now, in this moment, with all your flaws, all your wounds, all your regrets. Say it quietly, I forgive me, I release me, I let go, and feel it not as a thought but as a shift inside your chest, a loosening, a sigh, a breath you didn't know you were holding. That is prayer, that is worship, that is communion. You do not need to speak to God. You only need to stop talking long enough to hear yourself thinking, and then listen deeper, past the noise, past the fear, past the stories you tell about who you are. Listen to the silence beneath the silence. That is where he lives, not in grand revelations, not in burning bushes, not in earthquakes, but in the stillness after the storm, in the pause between two heartbeats, in the space between your fingers as you reach for someone's hand. There is no right way to pray, only the way that feels true to your soul. Whisper it, shout it, cry it, write it, dance it, sit in silence, burn incense, light a candle, pour water on the earth, sing to the moon, say nothing, say everything. Do not worry about whether it is correct. Worry only about whether it is real. God does not demand worship. He invites intimacy, not performance, not obedience, not fear, but closeness. Like a parent who sits on the floor with a child covered in mud, not to clean them, but to say, I'm here with you. That is what he does. He comes down, not to rule, not to judge, not to punish, but to sit, to be with, to hold, to whisper, I know, I see, I am here. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a mystery to be lived. And that mystery, that wild, untamed, beautiful, terrifying, glorious mystery, is the face of God looking back at you through your own eyes. Do not wait for enlightenment. Do not wait for a sign. Do not wait for permission. Begin now with this breath, with this step, with this choice to be gentle with yourself, to speak kindly to your own heart, to look in the mirror and say, I am still here, and that is enough. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not unworthy. You are not too broken. You are not too sinful. You are not too lost. You are exactly where you need to be. Every scar is a map. Every wound a teacher. Every silence a sanctuary. Every tear a prayer answered in ways you cannot yet see. There is no heaven to reach. Only this moment and the love that has always been here, waiting to be recognized. You are not alone. You never were. And you never will be. So rest. Breathe. Feel. You are home.